670 The Scores, Bruce Levine reporting Alex Bregman could be a fit for the Chicago Cubs if he shifts his focus to a shorter-term deal as his free agency continues. And to that end, the Cubs have had casual conversations with Scott Boras about that possibility. I mean, yes. If that lines up, AJ, yes.
I don't know why it wouldn't.
That would be awesome. Well, it wouldn't if Bregman doesn't want to do a shorter deal.
What's the guy's name that you were so worried about playing third base?
Matt Shaw. Well, that's for our second
Alex
later.
Bregman or Matt Shaw? Alex Bregman. Thank you. I don't even know who Matt Shaw, if he's good or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take Alex Bregman. He's won World Series. He's put up numbers in the big leagues. He plays a solid third base. He knows what he's doing. He's been a good in-the-room guy. I mean, sign me up, Cubs, for a short-term deal. And you give, what's his name again? Matt Shaw?
Matt Shaw.
Longer time in the minor leagues to get ready.
Mm-hmm. Who? Yeah, I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that. Hey,
come on, don't give me no Matt Shaw or Alex Bregman. Come on.
Bregman at third, Swanson at short, Horner at second. I mean, Bush at first, okay. But now we're talking. That would be a nice-looking infield.
Absolutely. And then, again, we talk about the thing that there is no stat for is his character, right? His will to win, his competitive nature. I think when you bring that in and you add that with the N-Haps, the Dansby Swansons, the Kyle Tucker, his former teammate as well, and Suzaki, I think now you really have a formidable starting nine, right? Some guys that you can trust, that you can throw out there every day. And I think also from another standpoint, it's starting to look like Alex Bregman is going to have to settle for a shorter-term deal and go out and prove himself for, I don't know if it'll be 1 year or 2 years. So this could be a great fit. And I think a place like Chicago would give him the energy. It's a fun place to play. They're going to get behind him, and they're going to like, what they have on the field when they get a third baseman like Alex Bregman.
So the Cubs are the only team? I mean, Bruce Levine's man.
Bruce is a Cubs guy.
That's what I mean. Bruce Levine's sitting there on 670 the radio, and he's saying, oh, he'd be a great fit at well, of course. There's a lot of teams that would sign up for a multiple time All-Star, multiple World Series champion. If he's going to take a 2 or 3 year deal, to me, I think there's going to be a lot more people jumping into the kiddie pool, especially when he gets that 1 year opt out.
Hey, Kratzy, don't you think that? I think Bruce made the comment as he's like reading the room. The waters are looking like that's what it's going to have to be, because the number that they threw out, now we don't know if it's true or not, but clearly the number is pretty high. Nobody seems to want to give Alex Bregman that type of deal. But I think there is a world where he could get a shorter-term deal, and he has to go prove himself. So I think Bruce was coming from a place of, hey, this is just how it's been looking thus far.
So does that mean the Cubs want to win? I don't think the Cubs really care about winning. I think the players do. I think
question. Absolutely.
Council does. I don't think ownership, front office, and where it takes to make these moves, I don't think they do care.
I think they want him if they can get him at the right price.
So does everyone else.
Do you think the Tigers are showing a stronger commitment? They made the playoffs. They tanked for years. They finally were pretty good. They haven't done that much.
At 2 or 3 years? At 2 or 3 years?
I understand, but I'm saying now if Bregman's between the Tigers and the Cubs, I'm going to the Cubs all day, baby. Especially if I have opt-outs in my deal. That's a better ballpark for me. Cubs, please.
Absolutely.
Oh, I know the ballpark's not great for righties, right? But
the Central is I like this. I'm looking at the Central alone. I'm looking at where do I think I would have a better offensive year, and I think it would be in the NL Central. That's just my opinion. And again, Kratzy, don't get your panties in a wad. This is a Cubs guy speaking on the Cubs. What you're bringing up is just a totally different conversation. Absolutely, other teams would take a 2 to 3 year deal, but Bruce Levine is a Cubs guy, and he's speaking on the Cubs. So just, hey, it's okay. I don't know if you didn't have your breakfast this morning or what, but it's not that big a deal.
I had 3 breakfasts. I had 3 breakfasts, and I want everybody to raise their hand. If we go back to the 4-box, who chooses the Tigers? Don't forget, it's AJ Hinch that he's going to play for, a team that did make the playoffs, the Cubs. Yeah, they got Tucker, but are they a playoff contending team right now? Who chooses the Tigers over the Cubs?
The Tigers over the Cubs? I'm going Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so split.
2-2 split. That's cool.
I choose Satan's Army over the Cubs. Just saying.
Right, this isn't fair. This is rigged.
That wasn't fair.
That wasn't fair. Yeah, I'm
I would
actually
choose I would choose the bad news Bears over the Cubs.
right. I'm actually legit
Yes.
neutral.
So you choose the White Sox then? That's what you mean? You mean you'll
That's
choose the
fine.
White
I
Sox? Yeah,
definitely would choose the White
because
Sox over the Cubs.
they're the bad news Bears. I don't even know if they're that good.
No, that's
Let me
the
bring
Marlins.
this up. So, AJ, in my mind, Alex Bregman said no to the Astros because he thought he was going to get more from teams like the Tigers and the Red Sox. Those were teams that were talked about all off season. They're proving to play a little cheaper and have a stare down with him. It wasn't the right teams to have involved. Like if you're Juan Soto, you want the Mets, the Yankees, the Blue Jays. He's got the Red Sox and the Tigers fighting, and neither of those groups
neither
are
one
going
of
to
them
play
is going to
big
budge
ball.
because the Tigers still have Javi Baez, ex-Cub syndrome.
Yep.
And the Red Sox are hoping they get Arenado, I guess, but they still have Devers, so it's not like he's a great fit on the Red Sox.
No, but
so he has no fits. It's like the Pete Alonso thing. Where's the fit? Well, the fit was in Houston. They went out and got Esau Paredes because they were like, well, Bregman wants too much. We can get this guy, and we can bring in
Christian
first
Walker.
baseman from the Diamondbacks.
Christian Walker.
On his name, Christian Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we can bring those two guys in for cheaper than what we can get Alex Bregman to come back for. Where's the fit?
But here's my thing.
Excuse me.
So
Sorry.
I think he's going to be allergic to Detroit if they were playing ball more in the 3-4 year deal. He's going to say, screw that, then I'm going to the Cubs. Like, you don't deserve me if you were trying to drive down my value and you really hurt my market. I thought you guys were going to play bigger ball. That is a thing, right? If it comes down to equal offers, Cam, from the Tigers and the Cubs, he is definitely going to Chicago. I'm telling you, players hold grudges like that over free agency. He thought that the Tigers were going to give a more serious offer, and clearly at this point, they're not playing ball where he wants them to. Cam, agree?
We're sharing a brainwave. That's exactly what I believe. 100%. Mm-hmm. And AJ, again, I still believe as an offensive player that again, I think the NL Central is more conducive to his game. I really do. I think that matters. If you're going to go on a shorter term deal, I would much rather go play in the NL Central than the AL Central.
Mm-hmm. Let me put a scenario out there for you, AJ. If you were a free agent, okay? You forget about the teams and allegiances there. You told a team that gave you a nice offer that you had been with, no, I'm going to get better offers elsewhere. One of those teams that you thought it would be is now suddenly playing cheap with you. Another team comes in because you had to lower your years. Are you going to go to that team that was playing cheap with you if they have the same offer as the new team coming through? Or are you going to say, stick it?
Why does it matter? If it's the same amount of money, then it comes down to personal preference. He knows AJ Hinch. He probably knows where he's at. I mean, it's not if you're saying the offers are the same amount, then it comes down to where I feel more comfortable. If he feels more comfortable in Detroit with Hinch, then he goes there. But if he doesn't, he likes Counsell and the Cubs better, he goes there. I mean, if everything is equal, then you just choose on where you feel more comfortable, where you think you have a better shot at. That's
Kyle Tucker, Craig Counsell. Which offense really do you think is better heading into this?
Sasaki, N-Hap, Kyle Tucker, Dansby Swanson, Suzuki. Like, I think that's a much more formalized. Listen, I love what the Tigers did, but I think it was a gift and a curse. I think there's also a scenario where the Tigers could be thinking, man, I like what we did last year. We have a manager who is as great as AJ Hinch. We could go the Tampa Bay Rays route and not pay guys and just win with the guys that we bring through our system. They're starting to draft a lot better as well. They have some prospects coming. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but like Scott said, I just don't see them spending the money that Alex Bregman wants. So I think there's a scenario where they think, hey, if we put the right pieces, to the puzzle together with AJ Hinch, the way he can maneuver, platoon, have guys ready. He's the best communicator in the game as far as having guys understand what their role's gonna be. I can see the Tigers being like, well, hey, this is the best we could do. And again, I'm with Scott. I think for me, I would take that a little personal. AJ Hinch isn't signing the check.
Yeah, okay, so let's do one more or two more polls. Ready? Let's do this one first. Which team will have a better lineup that you'd feel more comfortable plugging into, especially if you had to go prove it again to hit free agency? Cubs or Tigers? Raise your hand if you think the Cubs have a better lineup right now with the Tucker edition heading into next season. Cubs or Tigers? Okay, so that helps. Which team do you think has a better chance of making the playoffs? Cubs or Tigers? Raise your hand if you think the Cubs have a better chance with their current roster versus the Tigers' current roster. I still think the Cubs have a better chance. No?
I
You
only
guys think
say
Tigers?
that because the Tigers were the hottest team in baseball second half. Let's not forget, it's not like they play consistent baseball throughout the season. I'm a Tiger guy. They got extremely hot. That does not happen year in and year out. And now, again, they could be turning the corner. I do think they're getting better. I don't think it was a fluke. But to play that type of baseball, I mean, sometimes we've seen some of the worst teams some last place teams play great baseball second half. So, again, I have to see it again. I have to see, some of these guys do it again before I believe that that's the right spot. Especially, as far as protection in the lineup, absolutely it would be the Cubs for me.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the Central right now? AJ, who do you like?
I mean, the AL Central is always open for business.
NL Central.
NL Central. I mean,
Still
the Brewers
the
are kind of there. I think the Reds are going to be better this year. I think the Brewers will be okay. I think if Woodruff comes back, I think the Brewers are still a force in that division. The Cubs are going to be what they were last year. They're going to be around.
You don't think they're better with Tucker?
Yeah, I mean, but they lost Bellinger. They brought in Tucker.
I think that's a big upgrade.
Tucker's way better.
Dude,
if he stays healthy. If he stays healthy
his whole career besides last year.
Literally.
Again, if ifs and buts.
I love Cody Bellinger, but Cody Bellinger is not Kyle Tucker, bro. Stop.
Not even close.
Okay, but I'm just saying. And then the pitching staff is what the pitching staff is. We'll see.
They need bullpen.
They need a bullpen.
We're going to talk about that later.
I think they're around right now. Help. They're around the same team they were last year. Mm-hmm. Right? The Cardinals are going to be worse probably this year. The Pirates are going to be the same old Pirates.
Yep.
I think the AL Central, the Twins didn't do anything. We're going to talk to Aaron Gleeman. They didn't do anything. The Guardians
got worse, maybe.
They lost Naylor and brought in Carlos Santana. Okay.
Traded Jimenez.
Traded Andres Jimenez. They had Bieber back. Is he healthy?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Clase is going to have the year he had last year. I mean, that was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of year. Right? I mean, who else? The Royals are going to be about the same. I mean, the Royals haven't done anything this offseason.
They got Jonathan India.
Okay, but they lost one of their starters in Singer.
Yep.
Right? And then I mean, the White Sox are going to be the same as they were. They got to be better.
They're going to be a little better.
But I mean, I think the AL Central is the path for the Tigers. If Bregman goes there, I think it's an easier path for him to get the postseason.
Okay.
Because I think the NL Central is more muddled, and I think all the teams are kind of same amount of crappy.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? There's no one in there.
I do agree. 100%.
So better pathway to win the division in your mind.
Yes, but again, what the Tigers did for me. They didn't do it before. It's hard to repeat that type of production in the big leagues from guys who we haven't seen do it consistently. So I have to see it before I go and say there's now the team to beat because of last year. Teams make runs.
Yep.
So the Cubs.
All right,
so you want consistency? Yeah. Last thing, Cubs consistently don't care about putting a winning team on the field, and they don't make the playoffs. There's your consistency. So if I'm Bregman,
which roster would you take? Which roster would you take?
I think you guys are off base.
Which roster would you rather be on? If I'm Alex Bregman, which roster would you rather? You would rather be on a Tigers roster? It matters. Protection matters. I love Riley Green. Who's hitting behind him? I'm being serious. Who would you rather hitting behind you? Pick a guy.
Cubs have a
Kyle
better
Tucker.
lineup. Cubs have a better lineup. 100%.
Thank you.
Overall roster, though, Tigers.
Also, I hear you, Kratz, but I feel like you're giving way too much credit to Detroit. Okay. Detroit fans have been waiting for a minute. They got Gleyber Torres. There's your lineup. Everything else is. Did I miss anything? Have they done anything else?
No.
Okay. So
Trey Sweeney's got to prove it again. Kerry Carpenter. And what we know of AJ Hinch, he's probably going to be in a platoon role. Let's just say the way AJ manages it is he might get some at-bats against lefties from time to time, but he's still probably going to be in a role where it's predominantly righties he's facing. I love Riley Green. I don't know what Meadows is. Offensively, I don't know what Meadows is going to be, so they could be waiting on Max Clark. There's question marks for me still. Behind the plate, I love Jake Rogers, but listen, they're question marks. I love what they've done. AJ Hinch did a hell of a job maneuvering pieces and getting guys to play, their best baseball. But there's just some guys that just got to show me again before I just go say that that's the place for Alex Bregman.